Hi, I'm Suzanne with Growth Harmony, and today I'm going to tell you why it's not your fault that you are struggling with your business. Grow in harmony with Growth Harmony. Now, in general, I've noticed that most mother entrepreneurs are struggling with their businesses, especially those that are just starting or have started in the last few years. And I myself struggled for a really long time. I struggled for 6 years. I was trying really, really hard and not seeing the results that I wanted to. I took long breaks and was feeling exhausted, was feeling frustrated, was doubting my abilities, doubting my products. Just, it was a mess for a really long time. And then, those voices started in my head. Why am I putting so much money into this? Why am I putting so much time into this when I'm not getting any return on my investments and I'm not getting anything to show for all the time that I'm putting in? And then I started to think, okay, it's probably me. There's something wrong with me. I mean, other people are having businesses and I'm taking the classes that are showing how to build it and their success stories, but I am not a success story. It is not your fault that you're struggling with your business as a mother entrepreneur. I'm going to repeat that. It's not your fault that you're struggling in your business as a mother entrepreneur. And here's why. You may be doing all the things that other people are doing or trying out the different strategies that's working for other people. But I realized that we're not seeing the full picture. We are seeing their business life, but we're not seeing the full picture. And actually, there are a lot of things that are very different about a mother entrepreneur's life than other entrepreneurs' lives. And I'm going to tell you what those are. Number one, I found that I was comparing myself to people in other phases of their business. Now, I'm in the startup phase. I've been in the startup phase for 6 years now. But yes, I'm in the startup phase. And I was comparing myself to others who had established businesses or who had gone through the startup phase and had some type of attraction or had some systems or had some consistency with their sales and their leads. That wasn't me. So I realized, okay, I can't compare myself to people who are in other stages of the business. So I started to look at other people who had startups, who were in early phases of their business. And here's what I discovered. Reason number 2 why it's not your fault. Hours per week. When I heard stories about startup entrepreneurs and just startup life in general, it takes a lot of time to get things going. People were working 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. Now, I'm not saying that I would have wanted to work 60 hours a week, but probably more than the 5 to 10 hours a week that I was managing to do at the time. So if we compare 30 plus hours a week, probably closer to 40 or 50 of most startup entrepreneurs, and me working about 10 hours, if I'm lucky, a week, the amount of time that we put in as mom entrepreneurs is significantly less because of our other responsibilities. Reason number 3. I realized that many other entrepreneurs who were having success were able to have uninterrupted time to focus on their business. Now, this could mean, taking out meals, not having other responsibilities around the house, for example, and definitely not having children pulling on their skirts saying, "Mommy, mommy, 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 help me with this," or "help me with that," or the tears, or all of those things that come with parenting young children. So a huge difference was, even if they had had the same amount of 5 or 10 hours as me, 5 or 10 hours was very likely interrupted when I was working as opposed to the flow and the uninterrupted time that most entrepreneurs have. Okay, that takes us to reason number 4, why you're struggling in your business and it's not your fault. Most entrepreneurs have one job. Their entrepreneur life is their life. Now, some might be working full-time at a corporation and building their business on the side. And I understand that that's very popular nowadays. But I'd still like you to compare the one job or the 1.5 to the 3 jobs that we have as mother entrepreneurs. We are raising children. We are managing our home, trying to keep it clean, tidy, organized, trying while others seem to mess it up a lot. Oh, those darling kids. And we're trying to build a business. Now, not only are we doing 3 jobs instead of the 1 or the 1.5, we're doing these 3 jobs that have a lot of overtime that comes with them. Raising children does not happen in 8 hours a day, nor does it happen in 12. You are on call 24 hours a day, which means when our babies are teething, when they're having nightmares in the middle of the night, we are awake. We get tired. We lose a lot of energy. There's a lot of overtime that comes with parenting, especially the young children. Second of all, the household. Now, we can be really great at cleaning and have a minimal amount of things, but when you have little ones that are making bigger messes, whether it's their clothes, whether it's diaper changes, whether it's pulling things out of drawers, if you're at that phase or remember that phase, the chores are constant and they're recurring and they're much more than the average adult would spend. And number 3, as I mentioned, the startup part of a business takes a lot more energy than the other parts of the business. There's a lot to get things going. So not only do we have the children in their young stages, infant stages, that need a lot more attention and care, we're also at our business, early stages that need a lot more attention and a lot more care. Reason number 5, why you're struggling in your business and it's not your fault. Let's talk a little bit about mindset. Now, mindset is, and our beliefs and all that comes with it, is a huge, huge part of our day. The majority, and not just by a little, probably 95 to 99% of our actions take place subconsciously every day. So our mindset and our beliefs are leading most of our actions. Now imagine someone growing up, probably a boy or a young man, who wants to be an entrepreneur and start a business. Well, he has a lot of role models around, maybe a father figure, an uncle, or a teacher, a business person, somebody around that he's seen, okay, they've done it, I can do it too. I'm going to go and work hard and I'm going to create a successful business. Now, comparing to most women culturally, the examples are probably, most of my examples are stay-at-home moms who didn't work. But in general, the society, in the culture, a woman's role was more at home, and a man's role was more out working. Now, things are changing, which is really exciting, and it's a wonderful time to be alive as a woman compared to a lot of times in history. But there are still really big differences between men in the workplace and women in the workplace. Men's work and women's work. Look at examples of pay. Look at the percentage of men-owned businesses versus women-owned, and the successful people are mostly men. So I'm not putting men down here at all. Actually, I think it's really wonderful that the men have figured out a way to find success in business, especially those that are helping people. I just think it's time to level the playing field a little bit and to understand that we're coming from a much lower position and a more lower mindset and a more negative mindset coming into this role as being a woman in business. So imagine how that plays on your mindset and on your own confidence. So are you starting to see why it's not your fault that you're struggling with your business? I mean, I just gave you 5 quick examples of reasons why you're playing with a totally different set of rules and different circumstances and different history than most of the other entrepreneurs out there. We're trying just as hard and learning these new skills, but we have all these other responsibilities at the same time. It's a completely different situation. we have way less time, way less energy to put into our business. Plus, our days are varied and unpredictable. It's hard to get into a rhythm and a routine and to see real progress this way. I mean, just for a minute, imagine if you had all day to work solely on your business. Somebody else made you lunch. Somebody else cleaned up and did your laundry while you were working. And imagine the amount of work you could do when you are focused and in flow and just really in your zone of genius with helping people with the service or the product that you provide. I mean, do you think you'd be struggling as much if you had all that time and all of that focus on your business? I don't think so. But we don't really want just that, right? We want our family. We want to be home for our kids and around if something comes up. We want the flexibility. We want to be doing what we love in our own way. So there's only 24 hours in a day. And we have 3 full-time jobs plus, right? So the solution here is not to give anything up, which I've thought about a lot, and maybe you have too. The solution is to get more productive, to do each of these things more effectively, more efficiently. And well, maybe we want to drop off some of the chores, right? And definitely do them faster too. And this way, we can have it all. We can do it all. We just have to build our own model. Because you know what? This has only been possible for mothers in the past 5, maybe 10 years. Because now there's internet. There didn't used to be. I mean, 5 years ago there was, but think about from this time of the internet, what else has changed? After COVID, Corona, things have shifted online. There's courses, there's video. These things have all become regular in business where they had to be face to face previously, or different ways that we didn't have access to if we were at home as mothers, right? So that's changed, and ways to market. We can now market using social media channels and other online channels. It's not necessary to leave the house in order to be able to do so many of these business activities. And the mindset is also accepting of women and mothers who are starting to do this type of work and integrate it into a real lifestyle with their children and from home. So stop blaming yourself. Stop feeling bad. You're playing with a completely different set of rules and a completely different circumstance than everyone else. And yeah, if we continue to work the way that others work, it is going to take a lot of time and there is going to be a lot of struggle because the tools that they're using work for their circumstances. More time, less interruption. We now need to use the tools for our circumstances with less time and more interruption. These productivity tools that I'm so passionate to share with you so that we can really start to get your work out there. And I just imagine a world where millions and billions of mothers can now not only raise loving and kind and conscientious children that are going to go out and make this world a better place, but imagine the gifts that we have to share that used to just stay in home, right, with our children, but all the gifts that we can now share with the world. Imagine how much more of an amazing place this world is going to be when all of us are balancing and finding flow and finding harmony with all these responsibilities and the passions that we have in our life. You are a pioneer, you are a trailblazer, and we are making a new set of rules for what's possible for mothers and what's possible for mothers who want to do business. So you understand now why you might be struggling in your business and definitely why it's not your fault. And you know what? Now you can see that you have the power to change it. And it's not just by working harder, or it's not just by compromising on the things you want to do. It's just about getting more productive and efficient and finding a system that works for you. And I'm really excited to share those things on this channel and in other ways. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now. Grow in harmony.